those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none. The motion carries. Moving on to our minutes from the July 1st meeting. Any changes, additions, or corrections to that? Seeing none, we'll entertain a motion to approve as published.
I'll make the motion that we approve the minutes for July 1st as printed.
All right, motion by trustee Deland, support by trustee Riley. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. That motion carries. Moving on to our consent agenda and communications. It's tax season, so we have a lot of disbursements. We have disbursements totaling $1,112,226.17. Any questions on any of those?
I have a couple that were a little bit weird. Why did we pay Michelle for postage? $350.
I can answer. The postage, we have two permits, there was a, first class and market mail permit. I went in, I thought when I went there, I would be able to transfer a balance that we had within the postage. I thought I would be able to, and they're like, we can't, and there was mailing that had to go out. So I fronted the check, my own check, and then they reimbursed.
Appreciate you doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
And then also, I'm just wondering about these transportations for Chief Gratz. I noticed those last time as well.
Okay.
Like why is suddenly we're doing transportation for that?
Well, we do it for everybody. I mean.
But I never
we have lots of
noticed it
people.
until recently.
Yeah, do you want me to answer that question, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so it's what I use my personal vehicle to do the running I need to do as a fire chief in this community. So inspections, sometimes I get caught in the middle of an instant response, running back and forth to Station 2, as you can see the projects that are in front of you right now. It is money out of my pocket. The vehicles we have at the station are for emergency response, and we have people staffed in the vehicles. That's why I don't use them.
I was just under the impression we used the Tahoe.
I
for
just
that
thought we used the Tahoe
type of
too,
thing,
because I
yeah.
see that like everywhere.
Everywhere.
That Tahoe is used for other things besides transporting me to meetings and stuff like that.
I see the Tahoe on quite a bit, not on emergency, so that's
Excuse
why I
me?
wondered.
How do you
I
do?
see the Tahoe on non-emergency quite a bit, so I
Yep,
just
we
wondered.
do respond on non-emergency calls for any complaints, non-emergency medicals. So that's the primary vehicle for that. And you'll probably see a change. We're probably going to switch both vehicles out with Station 1 and Station 2, just to so it can be adequate with both vehicles.
Okay.
All right, any other questions?
I've got one. And I've brought this up before, page 7 and page 9, we've got Veronica Rock being paid.
Mhm.
And I've asked it before, but I question, with as busy as the library is, which it isn't that busy, staff can't clean while they're there. Like, we're spending lots of money. I mean, I don't know, it just seems like a lot of money per year. And
Yeah, so we have a contract with the library, so they have certain functions that they pay for.
Sure.
And I can get you a copy of that contract. They pay for the office cleaning. It's run through the township because we own the building, and then we bill them back for it, so that the library is getting billed for that.
And I only wonder just because a couple of years ago, it was literally on the chopping block to, the library was on the hinge of being shut down. And now we're just cavalierly paying someone to clean when they just kind of chill there all day.
Yeah, we didn't have, I mean, they did their own selection of how they were doing that. We didn't have anything to do with
And
that.
then page 15, 16,
Mhm.
there's like 23 DT bills.
Yeah.
Are there any, like, where are the details of where, I mean, and again, I'm not drawing conclusions,
Yeah.
but we've all seen how things can be, and the public seeing things.
So it's a
Go.
pain for me too, by the way, and George, because we have to approve each one of those.
Okay.
But so each one of our pump stations for the sewer system has their own meter. So that's 15 right there. Unfortunately, DTE won't combine those into a bill, which would be fantastic if they would. But for whatever reason, they will not. So we get separate bills for each of those. We'll get a separate bill for this building, both fire department buildings, DPW buildings, separate bill for the library. So there's a lot of different meters out there that we're paying for, and DTE will not combine them.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I've got a question too then.
Sure.
Everybody else, on page 8 for the UHY bookkeeping, another $13,000. Are they doing, we've already had our audit now, so, back, like between February and April, we spent about $22,000 with them, and now, and that's, I don't know about May and June and July, but another well, this one is from the end of July for $13,000. Why are we spending so much money with them?
Yeah, so we won't be spending any additional money for this year with them, because we've closed out our books, but they were helping Tom. It's his first year in that position, so they were helping him get through all of the reconciliations and other things that he was having some difficulty with within BS&A. So they're very familiar with BS&A, and helped us get set and prepared for the audit.
Okay, and then toward the back where it just does like the general ledger expenditure, we don't usually question those because it's not checks, but like your department, George's department, a lot of the departments, you're at about 38% of your budget because we're 5 months in. But DPW, the clerk's office, some of them are like 100%. What?
Are you talking about individual
Like for the
line
salaries-
items?
Salaries and wages, 100% for DPW, pension, 100%, clerk's office, 72%.
Usually that's
already.
related to just classifications of people, so one of the challenges is if we move somebody around, we typically don't necessarily change the budget, but their allocation comes out of a different
Yeah,
department,
I've
so.
seen that on the budget.
You know, we could go back, I suppose, and modify the budget, but it's quite a lengthy thing to
Yeah.
put that together in the
I was
first
just-
place, but.
I was just curious, like, if they're gonna be, by the end of the year, they're gonna be 200% of their budget or something.
Well, that's just individual line items, so I think if you look at their departments, most of the departments are pretty much where they should be, or fairly close to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I go in there every month or every 2 weeks when we have these meetings and see where I'm at.
You're
So,
good.
yeah,
You're only 37%.
I watch it very closely.
Okay.
I don't spend anything that I don't need to, so.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? All right, do we have a motion to pay those disbursements and file and receive reports?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda and communications in the amount of $1,112,226.17. Pay the bills and file.
All right, motion by Treasurer Jackson, do we have support?
I'll support.
Support by Trustee, gosh, my mind just went blank. Bowen, sorry. That's what happens when you get old. Any further discussion on those? All right, roll call on those, please.
Treasurer Jackson,
Yes.
Trustee Bowen,
Yes.
Supervisor Uzekowski.
Yes.
Trustee Deland,
Yes.
Trustee Lopez,
Yes.
Trustee Riley.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, next we have our boards and commissions. We have the county road commission minutes from July 15th. Deputy Clerk, were you wanting us to approve these two as well? Yeah, the planning commission from July 20, or June 24th and July 22nd?
From the planning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I wasn't asked for them, so forgot.
Any questions on any of those? All right, if not, I need a motion to receive and file.
I'll make a motion to receive and file.
All right, motion by Trustee Bowen, do we have support?
I'll support.
Support by Trustee Deland. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none, that motion carries. Any public comment tonight?
Oh, wait a minute, we have
Oh.
one.
You want to do it now, or do you want to do it when we talk about a resolution, or? It's up to you. You can get out sooner if you do it now.
Sorry, I actually wasn't aware. I just learned of the resolution being presented. Good evening. I'm Dr. Remington Nevin. I'm the medical director of the county health department, 1970 River Road, St. Clair Township. I've been visiting municipalities, speaking to them to provide an update on recent developments related to the science and regulatory landscape of water fluoridation. As you may be hearing later this evening, last August, the National Toxicology Program concluded with at least moderate probability that fluoride at approximately double the recommended concentrations in water is associated with the risk of neurodevelopmental adverse effects. And on reviewing this and other evidence in September of last year, a federal district court ordered the Environmental Protection Agency to regulate fluoride at its current recommended levels as an unreasonable risk under the Toxic Substances Control Act. And although you may have heard EPA is appealing this ruling, this is largely on procedural grounds, and it does not appear that EPA is significantly questioning the science on which this ruling was based. And indeed, the evidence is increasingly clear that total fluoride concentrations that are likely to be encountered in the combination of treated water and ingested, swallowed, topical fluoride-containing products such as toothpaste and mouthwash does in fact carry an unacceptable risk of neurotoxicity and cognitive impairment, particularly during development. And accordingly, I believe it is only a matter of time, despite the appeal, before EPA does act, possibly to lower maximum acceptable fluoride concentrations in water, but in my opinion, likely to prohibit the addition of fluoride to water altogether. And in anticipation of this very action, you may be aware Florida and Utah have both recently prohibited the addition of fluoride to water across each state, and over a dozen other states, though not Michigan, are considering similar action. And across the nation, many municipalities, including here in Michigan, are considering doing the same. And contrary to what you may have been advised, municipalities such as Port Huron do have complete discretion in this regard, and past ordinances in support of fluoridation adopted many decades ago should not be considered binding, in my opinion, in light of this newfound evidence of neurotoxicity. And so in my opinion, it would be well advised for municipalities to either consider prohibiting the addition of fluoride directly if they have a plant within their borders, or to petition their supplying municipality to do this. This would be supported by the evidence, it would be consistent with the precautionary principle, and it would demonstrate a proactive concern for the health of its residents. Now, in my advisory role as medical director, I have recommended that the health department adopt regulations to formalize such a prohibition across the county, particularly given the large numbers of municipalities in our county that are dependent on purchased water from other municipalities. This is a recommendation only, and it would require formal action by both the health officer and by the Board of Commissioners to approve, but I do think this is appropriate based on the court order requiring EPA regulation. So beyond what you discussed this evening, our advisory board meets the third Wednesday of each month at 9 a.m. Don Dodge Auditorium. We'll be discussing this issue tomorrow, and I encourage our residents or members of the township to speak to us and share their comments as may be appropriate. We will also likely be organizing a more formal outreach effort to discuss the proposed regulations in the coming weeks. And in the interim, I'd be happy to speak to anyone that has questions. I can be reached through the health department directly, and of course later this evening if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer those as well. Again, Dr. Nevin, St. Clair County Health Department. Thank you very much.
Can we ask you questions? Got time for that?
Oh yes, of course, absolutely.
I've always found it interesting that toothpaste says don't swallow it, so
Right.
that's one of the reasons, it's because of the fluoride in there.
Yes.
So what is the argument for? Why are people saying that we should have it in there? Just so that when we're discussing it with somebody, we understand both sides of what the argument is.
Yeah. So the American Dental Association and dental groups across the country and local dentists in St. Clair County have expressed support for continued water fluoridation. I think their arguments largely represent the consensus view prior to the recent developments, the developments beginning in 2024, which introduced this new neurotoxicity consideration which does complicate matters. So what fluoride does is it essentially binds to the mineral in enamel and strengthens it beyond what would be its strength under natural conditions. Fluoroapatite, the mineral in enamel, is quite resistant to acid. It's quite resistant to tooth decay. And there's a strong body of evidence that shows when fluoride is added to water or when the public has access to fluoridated treatments, that rates of tooth decay are considerably lower. Now, in my opinion, and I believe many dentists would concur with this, the real problem is the high sugar content in our diets. I think most dentists who support fluoridation would either publicly or privately concede that if we could address the real problem, which is the very high levels of sugar in children's diets, then perhaps this debate about fluoride wouldn't carry as much weight, because we wouldn't be likely seeing as much tooth decay. I think the real fundamental problem is sugar, and fluoride is like a Band-Aid on the problem caused by sugar. So one thing that I will be recommending to our Health Advisory Board and to our health officer is that if we do proceed with these regulations, one thing we may be able to do is issue some sort of resolution or some sort of recommendation to the state to consider reducing the availability of sugary sweet beverages and sweet foods as part of the state supplemental nutrition program. Right? Many people, I think, would think it's quite reasonable that taxpayers should not have to fund the purchase of these sodas and these sugary candies, which are in large part contributing to the problem of tooth decay that the fluoridation seeks to resolve. So the dental community, they do have a point. Their concerns are valid, but I think not all the dental community is aware of this new evidence of neurotoxicity. A court deliberated this issue for 7 years. The case, which ended in September of last year, I believe was over 7 years long, and the science was extensively litigated. And the top experts in the world were consulted and cross-examined, and all of the evidence was considered. And the court concluded that fluoride at its current recommended concentrations poses an unreasonable risk, and ordered the EPA to regulate it as an unreasonable risk under the Toxic Substances Control Act. And I do believe that while we discuss this issue in the coming months to years, we will very likely see additional recommendations or guidance coming down from the federal government, if not with the power of a regulation from EPA, perhaps from HHS or CDC or U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, recommending that municipalities begin to consider discontinuing fluoridation for these reasons.
Okay. Anyone else have questions for Dr.?
My question is, when they do these surveys, are they considered taking people that are on well water as well as city water that has fluoride in it, what the neurological differences are?
Oh, okay. Throughout Michigan, most well water has relatively low levels of fluoride. Typically, you might expect 0.1 part per million, maybe 0.2 parts per million in fluoride. Here in St. Clair County, I think there are a few well sources that have tested as high as 0.5 parts per million. Most water treatment facilities in St. Clair County will add fluoride from the point of intake so that it reaches a level of 0.7 parts per million, which is the level recommended as optimal to prevent tooth decay. So well water typically will have much lower levels of fluoride than treated municipal water. And I don't anticipate that EPA or HHS will make any specific recommendations to actively remove fluoride from well water as long as it's below the current recommended level. That's my that's what I anticipate.
How would fluoride get in well water?
Naturally occurring? So just like arsenic and lead and mercury, fluoride is an element that exists within the rocks found in Earth's crust. It's found in soils. The way we discovered the theoretical beneficial effects of fluoride was that out west in the Rocky Mountains, there were communities that had large amounts of fluoride in their water as a result of certain rock formations that were high in fluoride. And it was discovered that the residents of these towns, despite presumably drinking lots of Coca-Cola and so on, they were relatively resistant to tooth decay. So we found out about the beneficial effects of fluoride from areas with naturally occurring high levels of fluoride. Here in Michigan, my understanding is that the natural geology is not conducive to high levels of fluoride being found in well water. And the Great Lakes have very low levels of fluoride. I think water pulled from Lake Huron will have levels of 0.1 part per million, so 1/7 of what is recommended. But there are areas across the country where naturally occurring well water and even some surface waters have fluoride above the current recommended levels.
And not industrial fluoride, meant for industrial.
Okay, so if I could address that, because you may have heard that fluoride added to municipal water is an industrial waste product. Many people will say that. That is technically true. Because so much water is produced at municipal water treatment facilities, one needs to use industrial quantities of product to treat that water. And so water treatment plants in St. Clair County will typically buy large vats, several hundred gallon vats of, for example, hydrofluorosilicic acid. And those products, hydrofluorosilicic acid, for example, is sourced from industrial waste streams. Now, it's purified, and it is generally free of contaminants, but the source of that is a byproduct from, for example, the production of phosphate fertilizers or the production of aluminum, because each of those processes requires the processing of ores which are naturally high in fluoride, so it's a convenient source for those materials. And contrast that with pharmaceutical grade fluorides, which are added to things like mouthwashes and toothpastes, which are not sourced from those industrial activities. I think that's a lesser concern. I think we can trust the purity of the industrial sourced fluoride that's added to our water, but the public does have obviously reasonable concerns upon learning that the source of the fluoride being added to their water is from an industrial process such as that. It's a reasonable concern for the public to have.
Any other questions?
I'm just going to make a statement. I worked 40 years for Coca-Cola.
Yep.
All Coca-Cola produced is refiltered. All city waters are refiltered. And if you've got a system in your restaurant where it mixes everything up, that has to have a filter system in there also. So as far as, I don't like the attack on sweet things. 35 years, never missed a day of work, drinking Coca-Cola. Haven't missed a day since I became treasurer, drinking Coca-Cola. And then they attacked it in the news. You know, it's doing this for you, it's hurting you here, hurting you there. If I got an upset stomach, I took care of it. Now, I do have concerns with the neurology because I've got a spouse that's got issues. And if fluoride's the case, we've been on well water for years, so it can't be that. The lime is the biggest thing in our waters, but it's filtered also. So I just, I want answers to why she's the way she is. And a lot of other people have got relatives the same way. But that's the fluoride to me. I have 2 teeth missing out of my whole head. That's all. 2 teeth. Just one just a week ago. So that's where I'm at. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, anyone have anything else? Thank you, we appreciate you coming out and talk to us about that. Any other public comment? All right, Chief Gratz?
Good afternoon. Projects at Station 2 continue on. In our capital improvement plan, all the stuff was actually put into that, and then we have money set aside for that. So the first one is the heating and cooling systems we have there. We don't have any. Right now we have 2 heaters in the bays, and we have electric heat, that baseboard heat on 1 unit upstairs and 1 in the radio room. So this will actually update this to be more efficient with the systems we have. To update the system that would actually provide better a better situation out there. Set in Stone, of course, came across with the best price. The information that came with it is listed there too. The square feet is not a lot, and we looked at multiple different types of units, as you can see in the pricing there. We did a little research. We looked at everything from forced air to the units that actually go out on the side of the building, and this was the best price and the best solution for it.
So what areas are we
So
heating and
this
cooling?
unit will, the one unit will take care of all downstairs in the communication room, the small little meeting room, the bathroom, and the one small electric heating unit will actually stay in the mechanical room on the back part, which basically is where the pump and the electrical panel is, and the washer and dryer. So upstairs, it will cover the entire upstairs, the other unit. So not a lot of square feet up there. This is why we decided to go with smaller units instead of having one big, huge unit, which, as you can see the price there, that Superior, and you don't see Dependables because they're way out of the bar park. So that's where we're at with it.
Any questions from the board? All right, anyone will make a motion on that? I'm assuming you're recommending Set in Stone at
Yep.
$10,996. All right, do we have a motion on that?
I make the motion.
All right.
Excuse me, for that purpose.
I just have a question.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
the other two are heating and cooling companies, Set in Stone's a construction company. Are they hiring out to do this work?
Nope, you can actually, anybody can purchase some things and put them in, but he is hiring out the electrical. So it is done with an electrician through his company.
All right, we have a motion on the table. Do we have support for that?
I'd support.
Support by trustee Bowen. Any further discussion on that?
I have a
Yes.
question. Yeah, I don't have that Superior one in my packet. What's the price on it?
Superior's not in this.
I have to.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Dependable. I'm sorry, Dependable.
Oh, okay.
Superior was more, my mistake. Didn't mean to do that to you.
Okay, I do have that.
All right, any other questions? All right, roll call on that, please.
Trustee Riley?
Yes.
Trustee Bowen?
Yes.
Supervisor Uzekowski?
Yes.
Treasurer Jackson?
Yes.
Trustee Deland?
Yes.
Trustee Logers?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next thing I have for you is you'll see there's only one price here because this is the only company that offers this type of escape ladder for the second story. Right now, there's only one exit out of there, which is actually inside the building on the back wall, which we just updated a couple months ago. So this escape ladder allows them to get out the front window, you pull the pin, it unfolds, and you climb down the ladder. There's no swinging or anything like that, just the best way to handle this, it just guarantees an escape.
All right, any questions on that from the board? All right, do we have a motion on that purchase?
I'll make the motion that Chief Grants gets the safer escape ladder, $22,252.50.
All right, motion by trustee Deland. Do we have support?
I'd support that.
Support by trustee Riley. Any further discussion on that? All right, can we have a roll call on that, please?
Trustee Deland?
Yes.
Trustee Riley?
Yes.
Supervisor Uzekowski?
Yes.
Treasurer Jackson?
Yes.
Trustee Bowen?
Yes.
Trustee Logers?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the third one I have for you is the downstairs restroom is in dire need of some walls improvement. And some 2x4s actually need to be replaced because there was a water break in there, so this price includes that. And they're gonna put the, somebody else help me out here. I forgot the name of the material.
Acrovan?
Accurate, yep, thank you. Sheeting on the walls, so it actually repels the water and stuff like that too. So easier to clean, easier to maintain. And I did put limited contractors, but I was able to come up with 2 more quotes before the meeting. I just got them, so I handed them out tonight. So
How big is the bathroom?
I don't know off the top of my square feet, but I'm gonna say it's half the size of the restroom that we have here in the men's room. I'm going to women's room, so.
Is that station 2 as well?
Yep, station 2, sorry. That bathroom also has a shower, 2 sinks. It has a small electric heater in there, which will be probably pulled out of there. And the shower, actually, it's part of even cleaning up the shower and get that ready to go too.
That'll be all included with this?
Yes, actually, I think it says fixtures, so which is including that, are in our bathroom fixtures, yep.
We don't have to have a more detailed description, so they don't walk out of there and,
I won't pay the bill until it's done what I need it to be done. So Set in Stone has actually did a lot of our work, as you guys probably noticed. And he's been doing great work for us, and he's been finishing the work he needs to do.
like, I think to protect the township and protect you from having to chase people, ask them for a detailed description, that way whatever you're signing is done to, you know, because this is really vague,
Okay.
you know.
All right, other questions on that? All right, so what is your recommendation, Chief Gratz?
Set in Stone.
Okay,
I'll make the motion that we use Set in Stone for the restrooms at the fire hall, $2,575.
I'll support.
all right, we have a motion by trustee Deland, support by trustee Bowen. Any further discussion on that? All right, roll call on that, please.
Trustee Deland,
Yes.
trustee Bowen,
Yes.
supervisor Uzekowski,
Yes.
treasurer Jackson,
Yes.
trustee Logers,
Yes.
and trustee Riley.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, for futures, I will make sure that we have more detailed invoices. I can understand that this guy's been doing this. Yep, I understand. So, and what I encourage every one of you guys to come out and see what we're doing out there, what's getting done, what yet needs to be done yet. Since 2014, there's been a list that's been given to our capital improvement plan to get these improvements done. So, and, you know, we finally got the money to do some of this stuff, so. The other thing I got for you too is ISO, we're in the middle of measurement from them. The only thing we gotta do yet is our community risk reduction and our hydrants, which basically is like 7 hydrants need to be tested. So that should be done this week from what I understand from Jason, so
Okay.
we should be all set. Any other questions for me? Thank you for the board support.
Thank you, Chief. All right, moving on to new business. Eagle does require us to have a water reliability study. It needs to be updated every 5 years. We're due for that update. We did talk to our engineers about it. On page 66 would be the cost of doing that for us. It would, I think, meet the deadline for when we need to have it, but it's kind of tight. But you'd be looking at $27,750. They have to go through a lot of water usage reports, pump data, and other things to put this plan together. But it is required. And we don't have the expertise on our staff to actually put that together.
Do we receive any granting or funding from the state or county?
This particular project, no.
And the only reason I ask is, you gotta think, a lot of people, they never wanted sewer, they never wanted all that stuff. They were happy on their well, they were happy on their, all that stuff, but now they're paying into something and now they have to incur this. So that's just my thought. So, should we be able to get something from the state or county because they push these systems on us?
You know, there are times that we can get grants for various projects. This is not one where I've seen a grant available for it.
Okay.
We do try to find as many grants as we can when possible, so. Other questions on that? All right, do we have a motion on that? I'll make the motion that we go with PCE for the water reliability study at $27,750. Do we have support for that?
I'll support that.
Support by trustee Deland. Any further discussion? All right, roll call on that, please.
Supervisor Uzekowski,
Yes.
trustee Deland,
Yes.
treasurer Jackson,
Yes.
trustee Bowen,
Yes.
trustee Logers,
Yes.
trustee Riley,
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, moving on to our SCADA system. So if you don't know what that is, you can, we have systems available. We can go online. We can look at the status of 8 of our water pump station, or sewer pump stations. We can tell how often the flow is going, how often the pumps have been turned on. If there's any issues with the pumps, we get notified of that. It does use a radio frequency system that communicates between each of those locations in the DPW building. This would be from SCADA itself. They would go out and just do some maintenance on all of those systems, including battery replacement, testing the circuitry to make sure that everything is fine there, testing the radios, and things of that nature. And then provide a report back to the township related to that. Cost of that would be $4,940. I would recommend that we do that to keep those systems functioning and working, just so that we don't run into any issues. This has been a very helpful system. It's provided us not only data, but it also provides us information when we do have down times, and we can get those systems fixed quickly. I know that many of you have seen the little lights that are on top of those units, a red one and a green one. Back in the day, we used to have to rely on people to say, hey, guys, you got a red light, you know, so that is not the most efficient way to run a sewer system, so that's what these help us do. Questions on that?
Does the leachate system, is that included in this?
That one is not, no. No, that one is not.
So this is like when you pulled it up there, it showed us how a
Yes,
pump
correct.
was.
Mhm,
Okay.
yep. Any other questions? All right, do we have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the SCADA operation for $4,940.
I'll support.
All right, motion by Treasurer Jackson, support by Trustee Deland. Any further discussion? Roll call on that, please.
Treasurer Jackson,
Yes.
Trustee Deland,
Yes.
Supervisor Uzekowski,
Yes.
Trustee Bowen,
Yes.
Trustee Locers,
Yes.
Trustee Riley,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, moving on to our SEMCOG membership. This is an annual membership based on population. The cost of that for this year would be $1,519. We do get some benefits out of that. This year, we're going to hopefully be doing a video that will promote the township that we can use however we want at no cost. We're also going to be getting some data as far as the visitors go at the parks, so that we know how many people we're getting at the parks, where they're coming from, and that sort of thing. So, which will be helpful. It'd be
How do
nice
you
to
do
know that.
If
Cell
people
phone
sign
data.
in- Cell phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your cell phone's tracking you, sorry to
Yes,
tell
they
you.
do.
We won't know who it is, we'll just know that you were there.
But we don't really know if they're like Kimball residents or Clyde or.
Well, I mean, within limitation, you'll be able to know that, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Plus, we get a lot of mail from these people.
We do, yeah.
It's like that.
Lots of workshops and other things, right?
AAR.
I think it's a good membership. I would encourage us to continue that membership. Any other questions or comments on that? All right, do we have a motion on that?
I would make the motion to pay the $1,519 to SEMCOG.
All right, we have a motion by Trustee Bowen. Do we have support?
I'll support.
Support by Trustee Deland. Any further discussion on that? All right, roll call on that, please.
Trustee Bowen,
Yes.
Trustee Deland,
Yes.
Supervisor Uzekowski.
Yes.
Treasurer Jackson,
Yes.
Trustee Locers,
Yes.
Trustee Riley,
Yes.
All right, moving on to Resolution 25-29. Trustee Locers, you brought this to us. Did you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, I started being concerned about fluoride about 5 years ago. You know, just, I know it's a naturally occurring thing in our water, but, you know, I always compare it to computers. You start putting bad information into a computer, you can have system meltdowns, and you look at the health and the issues in people's lives these days. I mean, a lot of people have skin issues. Well, because they don't have good bacteria in their skin. Bleach. A lot of people have neurological disorders. They have diets high in fat, they drink pop, they do these things. And to George's defense, it's not always what it is, but also George comes from a generation that takes care of himself. We don't have generations like that these days. And I think we just need to be, and the big kickback from a lot of people is, what are the poor people supposed to do? Well, you get educated, you start taking care of yourself, and you stop expecting the government to put something in place to guard you and Band-Aid you from all the terrible things in the world. I mean, I don't look to the government to do anything but whatever they do. And when they do things that I don't like, I speak up, and that's why I got involved in politics. So I put this together because I don't want poisons in my water, and I like to take care of myself and think that I would like to take care of other people through my actions.
Okay. Anyone else have any comments? I do think it's an interesting topic, and I go back to the toothpaste thing, and the fact that it literally says on your toothpaste that you are not to swallow that, and yet we're putting it in our water. That's just
Well, the
an odd thing to
MSDS
me.
sheets
but-
that go in the Portland City water.
We used to get fluoride treatments at school.
But they
Yeah.
tell you don't swallow this.
Right.
Well,
right.
We
all
did
that
take
MS
home the, I know, I'm old, right?
No, it's a little red,
The tablets, the
Yeah.
little tablet.
Mhm.
All the MSDS sheets strictly say, do not consume this product in any form. But we're just swallowing it, bathing in it.
So I don't know if you guys remember this, but I think it was last year sometime, the city had an extremely high reading of fluoride. And it was just a one-day incident, but we didn't get, Eagle's just kind of weird on some things. This is one where they're really weird. They didn't require notification to municipalities using the water until 6 months later. And it's like, well, that's a little useless, but it was just a one-day thing, but still. So anyhow, Trustee Lockhart, did you want to make a motion on that?
Yeah, I will make a motion that we accept Resolution 2529 and kind of spearhead the local communities to standing up for what's right for people's overall health.
All right, so we have a motion for Resolution 2529. Do we have support for that?
I'd support.
Support by Trustee Riley. Any further discussion on that? Roll call on that, please.
Trustee Wilkers,
Yes.
trustee Riley,
Yes.
supervisor Guzekowski,
Yes.
treasurer Jackson,
Yes.
trustee Bowen,
Yes.
trustee Deland,
Yes.
resolution carries.
Just on a side note, when I was producing Coca-Cola products and stuff like that, we had a water filtration plant inside the plant. And you wouldn't believe the stuff that we took out of the city water. So, I'm not gonna say any more. I know exactly what was coming out that filter tube.
So I will forward that resolution and our minutes to the appropriate county and city officials, just to be on record that our board supports that resolution. All right, moving on to landfill tipping and impact fees. For those of you that don't know, we have, and I think all our trustees know this, but we collect 10 cents per ton of all trash that goes into the landfill because we're the host community for the landfill. State law does allow for 30 cents per ton. And I know in light of all the things that went on recently, it's created, I think, a much heavier awareness within our community, within this board, related to, what's going on with the landfill. So I'm still doing some research on this, but I wanted to bring it just to get some input. The funds that you collect from that impact fee can go into the general fund or into a trust fund. So my thought was, and so far everything that I've read is that we can split this. We can keep the 10 cents that we currently have going into the general fund in the general fund. And then I would recommend that we increase that tipping fee, that impact fee to 30 cents per ton, and the 20 cents be put into a trust fund. Now, the tricky thing about the trust fund is there's a trust fund board that's going to make recommendations on how that money is spent. So it has to be someone from the community, township supervisor, and then one person appointed by the landfill. But my thought is, if we have another situation where something goes awry, I would like us to have the financial resources to do something immediate that can help our residents. And right now, I think it would have been difficult for us to quickly put anything into place, whether it be some kind of air monitoring or whatever it might be. But I think this would help resolve that, and I think it would bring some peace to the people specifically that live near the landfill. So I included, our current ordinance, which says 10 cents per cubic yard. We would have to modify that, and then I also included the state law, which says that we can collect up to 30 cents. So I just wanted some feedback on that before I continue on moving forward with it, and just to get your thoughts, if you have any.
My thought is, shouldn't the rate be on a sliding scale into comparison of what you're dumping in our landfill? Example, and like I've talked before, I work for a company that dumped awful things in our landfill. So they're gonna pay the same rate as someone just dumping consumer trash that's full of diapers and, let's say, some tampons. They dump things that cause serious health impacts and are a main contributing factor to that leachate pond that will just sit there and brew for decades. So I mean, like, my good friend Dave, he took the strategy to building, and he has an entire machine that when he sends his dumpsters out to take out a roof off, he doesn't take that to the landfill anymore. He processes it, he denails it, and he turns it back into a grind that he sells back to the asphalt company. So how are we gonna charge 10, whatever cents it is, to just your local Ontario, and then somebody dumping hazardous waste, they just get charged the same rate? That's.
I mean, I agree with your thought. I think the problem is if you look at the current legislation, which is MCL 324-11532. I don't know where they come up with these numbers, but in that section, it says an impact fee shall be assessed uniformly on all waste accepted for disposal. So I'm not sure we would have that latitude. I can certainly look at it to see if we would have that latitude, but just looking at the way the current legislation is written, I'm not sure that we would.
So on that, current legislation got us to where we are, and we cannot get beyond where we are unless we change the things we're looking at. So I would propose we change legislation.
Well, we can. I mean, we can't
We
change
can
it. It's
push
state
these
law.
people.
We can certainly do that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
it's like my dad used to tell me, if you don't change what you're doing, you're never gonna get past what you're doing. So you either change or nothing changes. So I would propose, I mean, it is what it is, but we can't just accept that.
The landfill does charge different rates for different things, like if you have contractors' waste, there is a higher fee for that. And you gotta, this is 35 years old, this ordinance. How much more are how much is it a ton now? $7.50 a ton to dump trash? What was it 35 years ago? $5 again, I don't know. But we should raise it. It's long overdue.
How do you guys feel about putting that money into a trust fund?
Absolutely.
As opposed to a,
Mhm. That's a good idea.
okay. I'll move in that direction and bring something back to the next meeting. In the meantime, we can talk with our state legislators and see. I know they are looking at some different things related to landfills and fees and other things. Right now, we're working on a new materials management plan and that sort of thing. So I can definitely bring that up and see if this is one of the things that could be addressed as well.
Do we want a motion on this tonight then, or?
I don't think we need a motion on it tonight. I just wanted to get some input before I spend a whole bunch of time on it, so.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to audience participation. Any other audience participation?
Can I just ask a quick question?
Got to come up to the microphone. State your name, your address, your phone number, your social security number. Just kidding. You do have to come up to the microphone though, because we actually tape it and we won't hear you if we don't, if you're not at the microphone.
You'll hear me, I
You can
promise.
see yourself on YouTube.
Oh, been there. How much do you
So
have,
what's your name?
Kim Hetzel, and how much?
Where are you from?
I will not say. How much tonnage do you guys have dumped in your landfill every month or day or?
It's a great question. I'd have to look that up. I'm not really
Just-
sure. I'll text you tomorrow, but, well, I'll find out.
I'm just wondering how much, you know,
They put a moratorium on the Canadian trash still, didn't they, out
Mhm.
there?
Yeah.
So we're not taking Canadian trash anymore,
thank goodness.
which used to be a lot.
That goes to Pine Tree.
Hmm?
That goes to Pine Tree.
All right, that's all I wanted to know.
By the way, Kim is the treasurer for Columbus Township. She didn't want to tell you that, but appreciate your service there.
Thanks for coming, Tim.
No problem.
Quick question.
Yep. Mhm.
Eric Zobel, 322 Eileen Avenue. Just a question, I guess, about, so the resolution there, and I'm just curious, is there, what happens to that now? Is there a way that the public sees that?
Yeah, so we'll post it publicly
Okay.
on our website, and then we'll also forward it to City of Port Huron, County Health Department, and the County Board of Commissioners.
Okay, so I presume the 29 means there's 28 other ones out there
Correct.
already then?
Yes. Mhm.
In some similar place?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other audience participation? All right, we'll move on to officers' report. So Dove Road has been making some progress, so that's the junkyard out there. We were in court with them last month. The courts did give them, I believe it was 90 days to have the car crusher in place and functioning. So I know that Chief Gratz isn't here, but him and Ordinance Enforcer Erickson have both been out there a couple times to see the progress, and they have made some progress. And we get various calls from people speculating on what's going on, but everything we get called on, we follow up on. So is it enough progress? I guess that's a little bit
They
questionable.
do have
but-
the crusher in place,
Yeah,
but I don't think they have like business hours yet.
yeah.
Girlfriend was here briefly.
She was. I saw her walk in. I
Thought
thought
she
she
was
was
gonna
gonna
bring us more
stay,
Yeah, I
but
thought she was.
we didn't have them on the, no, donuts and cider. Yeah.
She dropped something off.
So
thought
I
it
was thinking she was gonna stay and, but we didn't have them on the agenda tonight, so I'm guessing that's probably why they didn't stay. But if you guys are using your township email, just a reminder, please make sure that it's for township business, okay? Don't use it for anything other than township business. We did have our audit. We'll give you a report next month. If you hadn't had a chance to look at it, it should be in your box. The local road funding assistant program is about to come up, so those applications will be due soon. I think last time we had talked about Atkins Road, just off of Wadums, which has been, it's probably the biggest complaint we get outside of anything else. I mean, it's, a lot of people complain. Most of them aren't Kimball residents, they're just people passing through, but that, yeah, but that stretch of road is pretty rough and does
Kinda
need
like
work.
Starling.
So I am gonna request that they give us a quote on that. Are there any other roads that you guys had in mind or thought of that we should get a quote on?
Aren't they supposed to be doing the other half of Ravens?
They are, yep, that's
Okay.
still supposed to happen this year, yep. Any other roads you want me to get a quote on at all? Anybody? Okay. And that's all I have. Moving on to Clerk Rule, you want to give us a report? Treasurer Jackson?
Okay. In the middle of tax season, things are going really good right now. I know nobody wants to know with a lot of money coming in, but it's only for good services, pays for a lot of things in the county that you don't have to take out of your pocket. That's what a lot of it is. Anyway, as far as cash distribution goes, account, we're sitting at $1,610,927.77. The savings account for the project, the new nursing home down here. $18,460.37 is in there yet. The tax account is sitting at $504,683.14. Some more of that'll be going out this next week. Trust and agencies sitting at $53,376.16. Utility account, which is water and sewer account, sitting at $1,398,033.87. There's 4 CDs. Just North Star, I'm just gonna round them off, is at $266,000 for one, $249,000 for another one. That one I hadn't been able to get in yet and get the new amount. Tri-County's at $270,000, and Hadfield is at $105,000. Bring the total amount of cash available right now, if we did need it, by pulling those out and using the other funds, is $4,475,850.15. That's primarily all that I've got right now. A lot of things going on, so.
I did think of a couple other things. I do apologize. We did get a request for a special assessment and sewer extension on Allen Road. That would be from Lapeer up to Westwater. So we'll be moving on that. I'll be bringing back resolutions. We'll have to do public notices and other things. But that was a petitioned and requested for by the property owners there. All right, moving on to Trustee Lokers.
I've been pretty busy. Haven't seen you all in a while. I've been doing some things outside of the township, just trying to get involved with things that are going on that I hear about, so I talk about. There's a situation in Port Huron where a young woman was stabbed. So I went to Port Huron Council meeting and just said, hey, you know, people are moving to this town. There's a lot of people from Macomb moving here to get away from that. And they've actually brought charges against the young man, and he's going to suffer consequences for the things he's done. So it was awesome for that. I've been going to a lot of meetings speaking out against fluoride and just sharing my viewpoint. I want people to be healthy. So what else? Went to the advisory board and just, again, talking about fluoride. Did a little bit of speaking out about animal control and what they did to the Tuckers. I've made my way out into Wales Township, just trying to speak up for a resident out there that's being bullied by Liz Masters. And being a community that has horses and livestock, I see that as, if it's gonna happen there, who knows? So I got try to speak up for people just in general. I had a resident reach out to me. She runs the new farmer's market, and her name is Melissa. She said that someone from the township reached out, and she said that someone within the township was poaching her vendors in the attempt. She didn't list a name of who it was. She just said someone from the township, saying that the township's going to be doing a farmer's market, and she was invited to be part of it because the township was going to do something with it. And I would motion to say, if anybody's going to be doing anything with the farmer's market, we should put Melissa in charge of that farmer's market, because she's done tons of work, and we should just keep the township out of it and let her continue to do what she's done, because we've got almost 45 vendors, and it's been a good thing. I went to Columbus Township at Kim, and I didn't go out for any other reason, just to try to share unity. I heard it was a lot of discord out there, so I just invited the board to come here and maybe just watch what we do, because I would venture out to say that there's a lot of I'm not going to say myself because I'm new, but there's a lot of qualified people on this board that I think could be of resource to that township. And they have a lawyer sitting on the board, and I just shared that the lawyer should help them formulate some Robert's Law of Order and get some structure in their system, so they're just not wanting to kill each other at the end of the meeting. And I was on a podcast with Eileen Tesh. She wanted to know why I decided to get into this position and stuff, and I just shared some things, and yeah, so I've been busy, so.
Appreciate your advocacy.
Yeah.
All right, trustee Deland?
A couple things. Do we have an update with Mr. Monty's study that he was doing for the?
I don't, but I'll check with him tomorrow and see where he's
It's
at
just
on
kind of
that.
been
Yeah.
moving, okay. And about that property down there, the Community Foundation property,
Mhm.
I know we put some of the ARPA money toward it,
Mhm.
and we're gonna try to get a grant
Yep.
in November, right? But are we making any type of payments on it now, or are we just kind of waiting to see
We're making no payments.
no payment?
Yep.
So we don't have an actual purchase agreement or anything like that?
We do, we have a purchase
You have a
agreement.
purchase
Yep,
agreement,
but
okay.
it doesn't, it expires in 2026. So either this month or next month, we will receive some initial scoring from the Department of Natural Resources on our grant. It should score fairly high. We have a chance to make any changes that we want to the application to improve the score if we so choose. We don't have to, but we can. So those will be due, I don't know the exact date that they're due back, but sometime around November, they'll make their final decisions on who is going to be receiving those grants, and then they make a recommendation to the state legislature for approval. We won't get that approval until sometime next year, so. I know the guy, there's a guy up on Atkins that's interested in purchasing the property on the south side of the river. Like I told him, we don't own the property yet, and it's gonna be a while before we do own it.
It would be a good idea, though, too.
And then, even then,
So,
it'll depend on the terms of the agreement with Department of Natural Resources on what we can do with that property. I'm not sure that they're gonna be in favor of us selling off a portion of the property after we just purchased it. So
Right.
it depends on what all is in that agreement when it comes down, so.
Okay. And I was down talking to Tim Hammer. I noticed that he had kind of moved his tire pile. Now it's right up by the road. And I had told him that, that Brandon and his family had come and they got a tire grant on their
Mhm.
own. And I was just wondering, we've got cleanup coming in a couple months, if we could try to get another tire grant? I know they were.
Yeah,
They were available
I
like in the
don't,
spring.
yeah, I don't know that, I don't think we can get one at this point in time. We could apply for one for next year. But we were instrumental in the one with the Dove Road. I mean,
Yeah.
we submitted letters of recommendation. We kind of hooked them up with
Maybe
DEQ or Eagle.
help Tim out, because he
Yeah.
said he's talked to that, I think her name was Amanda,
Mhm.
on
Okay.
there and stuff. And, so I was just wondering if maybe we could try to get a grant.
Okay.
People ask all the time, and, we got quite the pile over there because they keep getting up on the roads.
Yeah, the challenge is that the tires for that particular grant program for an individual property have to be older than 20 years. And so you have to have some way of proving that those tires have been there for that long, which can be really difficult, So I don't know if, in our case, we had the advantage that Eagle had been out to the Dove Road property in the past, so there was some evidence there that the tires had existed prior to. So I don't know if Mr. Hammer has that or not, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure, we
Yeah.
didn't talk about that.
But even if not, I mean, we could do something similar to what we did with our first tire grant is, we got 6 trailers for that grant.
Yeah.
We probably filled up maybe 1.5 or 2, and then we let the junkyard come in and fill the rest.
Yeah.
So we could do something similar if Timmy was interested in that.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right, trustee Bowen?
I was just looking over the stipend thing that George had passed out, and when we did this stipend thing, I was not under the impression that we were allowing the spouses to get stipends. So like,
Only if they're on your insurance.
but if you decided to opt out of the insurance, your spouse is no longer eligible for the insurance, why would they receive a stipend? If you said no as the main number one, that doesn't really make sense.
Well, we're paying for their insurance. If they take the insurance, I guess, why wouldn't we cover that portion of a stipend either, I guess, would be the question,
Most
since we're
companies
paying
don't.
for.
Like my dad's company, my dad gets $75, that's it. But my mom doesn't get anything for opting out, just my dad as the main primary person that would be insured.
Okay.
So,
I mean, we can retake a look at the ordinance
I
if
don't
you want
agree
to.
with
Yeah,
this.
I didn't
This-
vote on that for,
Yeah, no.
for spouses or whatever to get it either, but is everybody proving, like, are they actually spending $500?
I haven't got into that part yet, but the reason it's split like that is if you're on Medicare, which I'm on Medicare,
Right.
because I'm not a young person, the payment is taken out of my social security check and my wife's social security check, equal.
And it's $185.
$185, right. And that's why they're included in that, because they're on that hospital. In fact, I'm on her plan from the state of Michigan. I'm not on my plan.
Right.
So to answer your question, yes, that is required. You have to provide proof
Right,
of
I know.
what you're getting.
Yeah, you can't.
But when we voted on that, it was never brought up,
No.
spouses and family plans or,
I mean, we
Or
can
anything like that.
bring the ordinance back to take a look at it if you'd like.
I
We
would
can do
like that.
Okay.
okay.
Anything
Sorry,
else?
I didn't mean
No,
Trustee Bowen, anything else?
No, that's it.
Trustee Riley?
I'm gonna give you a break tonight. No.
Okay,
I have
I've got one
a-
more thing, Rob.
I got one more thing.
I got one more thing.
Go
okay.
ahead, you first.
I just wanted to go out and make a public notice, my position, so the public knows where I stand and where a lot of people in the community stand. Dr. Nevin, we're blessed to have him in this
Mhm.
county, but he is undergoing, I would say, he's having to work amongst the hierarchy of Dr. Mercantot's prior staff, and they are pushing hard to make his life rather uncomfortable, to push him out. So, and I think it's a level of, they're not used to leadership. They're not used to boldness. They're not used to maybe some male energy that's necessary to get things done. But I just want to make a public, for the record, that I support Dr. Nevin, and I think we're blessed to have him making decisions for our health.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Delaney?
I think we should send the tape for this meeting to Coca-Cola and maybe we can get that.
Yeah, I made it from scratch. Except the Coke formula, that you don't get
I think we
that.
better adjourn before we get too far there.
Okay.
His head's getting big.
One thing I want to make a comment. If we're kind of sticking into other townships' business, we better be careful what we do, because they run their township, we run our township, and we can't tell them how to run their township. And that's all I'm going to say.
I agree with that.
Because I deal with those other people all the time, and I can't say, well, you better do this, you better do that.
So I've had multiple townships come to me for counsel and advice, and that's all it is. It's just counsel and advice. So what they do with that information, it's really up to them. I can give them some ideas of things that they can do to make their meetings run smoother, to, make their township run smoother. But from that point after that, it's really up to them what they want to do with that. But, I mean, I think our board works fairly well together. We don't agree on everything, but we're always open to each other's opinions and thoughts, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's healthy. It's no different than our community. There's people with different thoughts and things within the community, and we represent the community. So why shouldn't we also have different
I
thoughts?
think it's really nice that George's gonna bring us Coke.
That is really nice.
Well, I'm gonna, one point with Coca-Cola, if you look at all the money they donate to colleges and everything else, and then they slam them for plastic bottles. Who threw the plastic bottle down there? It wasn't Coca-Cola, it was a person that drank out of it. And that's what really grinds me, is the people that, here, I'm gonna defend them because I know the quality of product we put out there because I made it, so.
Do you have the Coke button?
Coke Yellow is better in the can. It tastes way better in the can than in the bottle.
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a-
All right, we have a motion. Do we have support?
Support.
We have support. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Are we done
Aye.
discussing
Any
Coke?
opposed? We are
Are we done
adjourned.
discussing the Coke? You have to find us all Cokes with our